Somali Street.
No way! I don't think there's a street in Somalia called Somali Street. Hey, Minnesota takeover. Nah, I'm joking. To be honest, yeah.
The U.S. began admitting these Somalis in the early 90s, with about 55,000 coming into the U.S. from 1983 to 2004 alone. Many were
But I swear, wasn't it, you know what I'm saying, wasn't it America that came with the hawk, you know what I'm saying, tried to absolutely obliterate the country in the name of, oh, we're trying to bring... We're live. Guys, what is going on in America? The Somali hate has taken an exponential rise. So, I live in the UK, just a bit of context, and I don't keep up to date with any politics, let alone American politics. But with this beef between Ilhan Omar and Donald Trump, yeah, that just, you know, started up some beef between Somalia and America. We've got this video here, and we've already done a reaction about this, what's his name? Matt Walsh attacking the Somali community. And now we're just gonna, yeah, the Somali hate in America has taken exponential rise. Of course fueled by this Donald Trump and Ilhan Omar beef, which I honestly don't know much about it, but I will do a video reacting to what's going on. But today's video we've got how Minnesota became the Somali capital of America. Let's check this out. Let's check it out, y'all. Hey, we'll go check it out.
Where are you from?
I'm from Somalia.
From Somalia?
Yeah, Mogadishu. We're like here, Minnesota, as you know, it's a lot of Somali, yeah. The state of Somalia, that's why.
I don't know how to put it. You know, this is a different culture. This is the Somali community, so.
Cedar Riverside, the West Bank, is its own kind of bubble universe. Once you cross Franklin, once you cross Riverside, you kind of exist in this place, and it's deeply beautiful that doesn't follow the rules of the rest of the city or the rest of reality.
Minnesota, known as the land of 10,000 lakes, is known for its over 14,000 bodies of fresh water, vast prairies, fertile farmland, and also its growing Muslim and African population.
Wow.
When I grew up,
what's not to love?
Friends of all different shades. Now you come up into the city, and really even a lot of little small towns, it seems to be a demographic shift to primarily Somalians.
It's definitely a lot of Somalis, but it don't affect me. I don't care.
Are they pretty friendly?
Yeah, they cool. They cool for the most part. They can't drive for shit, but they alright.
Now home to the largest Somali population.
Can't lie, never heard that Somalis can't drive, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the you know, what the perception is, because they're kind of 50-50. I don't know if is this a hate, is this a you know what I'm saying, attack, is this a hit piece? I'm trying to get what the gist is so far. So far it's 50-50. People are just, you know, I don't really care about Somalis. They alright, they cool, they respectful, they can't drive. So we don't know the prerogative yet.
Blessed to have 3 Somali elected officials at the Capitol, and we work very closely together.
This guy, shout out to this guy. I've been seeing a lot about him. I think he's the mayor. She's the one that's beefing Donald Trump.
Online exaggeration, or was this community of Somalis from a country over 8,000 miles away really taking over the state like the internet said? We went to the Cedar Riverside neighborhood of Minneapolis, also known as the Somali capital of America, to go find out.
Somali Street.
No way! I don't think there's a street in Somalia called Somali Street. Hey, Minnesota takeover. Nah, I'm joking. To be honest, yeah, as long as it's legal, and which I know 99% of the Somalis are respectful, that's our tradition, that's part of, like, of course you're going to see some of the young cats that have been swayed by, you know what I'm saying, by the American mentality of, you know what I'm saying, crime and whatever. 99% of Somalis are calm, peaceful, respectful. So I don't see the issue with this. I honestly don't see the issue with this. I could be wrong though, unless some of the Somalis started messing about and, you know what I'm saying, started absolutely ruining the city. But we're going to find out though, we're going to find out.
Where in Somalia are you from?
Mogadishu.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Somalia.
Which part?
South side?
South side of Somalia?
Yeah, Mogadishu, yeah.
When did you come to the U.S.?
Oh, I come like 2000.
I'm from Somalia, but I gotta go to work right now.
What part of Somalia?
That's what I mean, bro. Most of us are respectful. And I'm saying working, legal, law-abiding citizens, doing their thing. What's wrong?
Mogadishu, when'd you get here?
I came here 1999.
Do you like the U.S.? How has it been?
When I was born.
It's
Yes,
not
sir.
bad, it's good. You guys fought here at this area in Mogadishu? Are you sure?
Yes. Who said that?
Somebody was just, just following the ladies here and just keep saying, is this area is a little Mogadishu?
No, that's not us. We've been asking people who live in the area about Somali culture, where they're from, so that's all we've been asking people.
You never guys, you guys never ask little Mogadishu or something like that, no?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Somalia,
From Somalia?
little Mogadishu.
You're from Mogadishu, though.
I'm not.
Where are you from in Somalia?
I'm from Hargeisa.
Okay, how long have you lived here in Minneapolis for?
5 years.
How do you like it?
Love it.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you ever miss home?
Yeah. I'm going back there now.
To live or visit?
Fishing.
To visit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just trying to learn about the culture here.
It's not important to learn, but some of our culture is different culture.
Do you ever miss home, or do you like being here in the U.S.?
I miss home actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back, or do you think you'll stay?
Going back this year.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah, we like here, Minnesota, as you know, it's a lot of Somali, yeah. State of Somalia, that's why.
So it reminds you of home, which is why you like it here.
Yeah, sometimes I miss home, but for real life you have to work hard.
Yo, this woman is not fooling me, bro. This is a hit piece, I can tell. She's trying to be very friendly, trying to get in, and then try to expose, you know what I'm saying? Especially those that are kind of vulnerable, that don't really understand the language, trying to put words in their mouth. This lady, I don't trust this lady, I swear down.
80 to 100,000 people become so prominent here in Minnesota. Well, it all started with the Refugee Act of 1980, signed by President Jimmy Carter. This law created a formal system for admitting and resettling refugees into the U.S., while also providing a path to permanent residency and citizenship after 1 year. This act, which initially set a cap of 50,000 refugees, topped over 200,000 in its first year due to the aftermath of the Vietnam War. And since that time frame, the numbers have continued to fluctuate due to the president being able to set the annual ceiling. For example, we saw numbers ranging from 70,000 to 85,000 per year under President Obama, down to a low of 15,000 refugees under President Trump. This act remains the backbone of U.S. refugee policy, with over 3.5 million refugees resettled nationwide since 1980, including tens of thousands of Somalis. During the 1990s, the Somali Civil War erupted and over 1 million people were displaced after the government's collapse created a massive refugee crisis. Under the Refugee Act, the U.S. began admitting the Somalis in the early 90s, with about 55,000 coming into the U.S. from 1983 to 2004 alone. Many were
But I swear, wasn't it, you know what I'm saying, wasn't it America that came with the hawk, you know what I'm saying, tried to absolutely obliterate the country in the name of, oh, we're trying to bring aid. So this is the thing, man, America, they come destroy, and then when you pull up to them, it's like, yo, what's going on? They're like, nah, go back. But you know what I'm saying, respect to America though, I can't lie, as much as it's fashionable to say, oh, America this, America that, we've got to respect them, man. Look how many Somalis they've housed, look at how many, you know what I'm saying, like I said, they've made entire cities just for Somalis, so we've got to give America respect. We've got to give them respect. They've managed to help the Somali community.
Extended for Somalis in the U.S. well into 2026. Finally, the Diversity Visa Lottery, launched in 1990 and still active today, allocates up to 55,000 green cards annually to people from unrepresented countries such as Somalia.
I want DV lottery process. DV lottery is like process like you win like every year.
Once resettled, refugees and immigrants can sponsor relatives under family reunification provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act, creating a chain effect that not only continues to grow the populations, but also has fundamentally changed the culture of various American neighborhoods, just like Cedar Riverside.
So we've been out here for probably about 2 hours, and overall, everyone you've spoken to has been pretty friendly. It does seem like some of the locals are getting a little bit defensive, but it's okay. Like I said, so far, everyone's been pretty nice. However, one thing that I have noticed is none of the women will speak to us. They all seem very shy. Would you like to interview with us? Yeah? Okay. And some of the locals explaining maybe why that is.
They've assimilated. Sometimes the women seem kind of not in.
I know why, yeah, but I want to see what these guys say.
They're kept to be quiet, and you know what I mean?
I've been trying to talk to a couple of them. They seem pretty shy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're not real open with dropping out what's really on their mind. They do keep things. You can see it when you look into their eyes, but they won't talk to you. And it's somewhat, I think, what the culture is.
Some of them be cool, but most of the Somalis stick to Somalis. You know, I was asking a couple of Somalis about a store. I was trying to run for the kids, or whatever. You know, he told me like, you know, if you're not Somali, the Somali community really ain't gonna mess with you like they'll mess with another Somali. You know.
People get freaked out by this neighborhood. When I grew up, there was a lot more violence. There was a lot of stabbings. There was a lot more shootings.
A lot of the critiques online are people saying that the Somalis don't assimilate, that it's an entirely different culture. What's your viewpoint on that as somebody who lives here?
Well, this neighborhood has a lot of history, and there's been like layers and layers of different cultures Like, most Somali people came to this neighborhood in 95 to 97. Before that, you had a big wave of Oromo, Eritrean, and Amharic people from Ethiopia. Before that, it was Hmong and Vietnamese people who got over by the U.S. government. But that's how it goes. Same with a lot of Somali people, actually. So there's a lot of layers of history and a lot of people that kind of integrated into the subcultural world, which Somali people's community don't integrate. There's a lot of like structures of like the clan. There's a lot of structures of community that persist, which also leads to a lot of people getting taken care of. Somali people specifically getting taken care of in a way that they wouldn't if they were assimilated.
Yeah, I can't like when it comes to the women, like it's just tradition. It's part of Islam. Women are, you know, shy. They don't, you know what I'm saying. Unless it's people that's within their family, especially of the opposite gender, we don't really talk too much. So that's just from that. But the way they try to make it out is like, oh, they're being oppressed, they're being this, they're being that. They've got their free will. They're in America, you know what I'm saying? If they want to talk to you, they'll talk to you. If they don't want to talk to you, it's not disrespectful. It's just, you know what I'm saying, it's part of the tradition, it's the culture that, you know what I'm saying, the men and women don't really, you know what I'm saying? It's just part of the religion. There's that, you know what I'm saying, what's the word? There's that boundary between them.
Still be there. I haven't checked in recently, but just that kind of dilapidated, just negligent, you know, people just not caring about the area.
We've had a sad story tonight because we got two Minneapolis restaurants that have been city institutions here for decades. They're shutting their doors.
Now, I'm currently standing in front of Palmer's Bar because this bar has been here for 119 years, and they are set to close down in September after living through the Prohibition, outliving 2 world wars, and the Great Depression. They're going to be closing down because the owners state that not only is the current economic condition taking a toll on the bar, but also the culture surrounding drinking in this area has changed so substantially that they're losing $10,000 to $30,000 every single month. Now, this is not the only bar on this strip of land that is closed down, by the way. 3 other bars have closed down in the last 13 years, as well as an iconic punk rock venue. Now, that venue, which locals had previously stated was a staple in Minneapolis for up-and-coming punk rock fans, that closed down and has since been turned into an African restaurant, and this bar has been bought out by the mosque that is next door to it. It is the oldest Somali mosque in Minneapolis, by the way.
I mean, I hear it, yeah, I hear it, but so far I don't see anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? Am I forced to come to your bar? Not really. I do understand, you know what I'm saying, the culture of America is kind of dying down. But at the end of the day, man, this is what happens when it's the community changes, man. The community changes. This is what it is. Let's see what's going on here. Who's he? I'm liking this guy.
The was also at the forefront of changing noise ordinance throughout Minneapolis to allow the Islamic call to prayer to be broadcasted 5 times a day, with the earliest call starting at around 3 a.m. The Minnesota state flag was also recently changed back in 2024 under the direction of current Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and many Minnesotans immediately called out how similar it looked to many other flags.
The truth flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's more reflective of that.
Representation of the Somali population has also made its way to both state and local politics, and back in 2018, Minnesota elected Ilhan Omar, the first Muslim Somali politician in Congress.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
I'm here before you tonight as your Congresswoman-elect.
Omar, who is still currently serving as a congresswoman, has made way for her progressive stance and consistent fight against what she states is white supremacist American culture.
We must begin the work of dismantling the whole system of oppression, wherever.
Yeah, you're not gonna like me for this one, yeah, but you're not gonna like me. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. But when you get elected into a position like this, as a woman of color, as an immigrant within America, you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. You gotta know how to play the game. And I'll say this. You can't get the entire country, you know what I'm saying, which are white people, you know, white supremacy. You can't, like, even if that's the case, you gotta play the game, man. You have to play. You know what I mean? Do you know? If I was the mayor of Minnesota, yeah, I would play the game. I would play the game, even if the white supremacist thing is a big issue. I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't call it out for what it is. I would, you know, tippy-tappy around it. I would kind of, you know, try, because you don't want to bring attention to yourself. This is what she did. This is why she's beefing with Donald Trump. Everyone's wanting to get her out of the country. What I'm saying, what she said might not be right or wrong. It's not about what she said right or wrong. It's about the game. It's about the game. If you find yourself in a position like this, the first ever congresswoman, Somali, Muslim, blah, blah, blah. You know, you got to know how to play the game. You have to know how to play the game, man. You can't attack the people. You can't attack the Americans in a way where you're just attacking them. Do you get what I mean? You find yourself in a prestigious position, and you got to be low key around it. I don't know how to explain this, but if I was the mayor, if I was the what's it called, mayor? Is it mayor? Whatever, congresswoman or congressman, I would play the game so well to the point where, you know what I'm saying, I would benefit the people that I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm mayoring for, as well as, you know what I'm saying, adding value to the normal American way without compromising my deen or religion. That fine balance between each step, you have to find that fine balance. You can't just cater to one community and then completely alienate the other one or even diss them. You've got to find the fine balance between each one. This is a hard job. It's a tough job, yeah. Tough job that only people... is a tough job, man. I do understand. I do kind of sympathise with her, but you got to play the game. You have to play the game. And I'm not going to tell you what the game is. The game's the game. You know what the game is, man. Come on, lads.
But recently, it's her consistent Somalia first stance and loyalty to her home country over the US that has been garnering attention across social media. But I am a Somali girl, a girl with your lineage that misses her country and wishes to live there and share with its people. I am very honored to have the chance that our president of Somalia, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, let us give him a warm welcome. The interests of Ilhan are not Ilhan's. It's not the interests of Minnesota, nor is it the interest of the American people. The interest of Ilhan is that of the Somalian people in Somalia.
She's the first Somali immigrant to get elected, you know, to Washington. So I feel it's great, you know.
And Ilhan isn't the only Somali politician making waves. Omar Fateh, who recently secured and then lost the Democratic endorsement for mayor of Minneapolis, has also mirrored many of the same sentiments Ilhan Omar has regarding Somalia and the U.S.
Yeah. I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other here in Minnesota and back home. And I'm running to bridge that gap and unite all of us and represent all of us, because when we succeed here, we succeed everywhere.
Fateh and Omar are examples of the changing politics and demographic in Minnesota politics, and despite making up just 1% of the population within Minnesota, many have pointed out just how widespread the influence of the Somali community now stretches. The introduction of mosques throughout the state is another example of the changing area, and back in 1998, the first Somali mosque opened in the state, with only one other mosque open prior. Fast forward to 2025, and there are now at least 76 mosques throughout the state, with a significant number of them opened by Somalis. And while I was on the ground, a shocking story surrounding a local Somali mosque began garnering national headlines.
This is Van Hernandez standing in front of the Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, I'm standing here because this mosque has made national headlines after they penned a letter of community support for a Somali immigrant who sexually assaulted a 12-year-old. Now, back in 2024, this perpetrator was charged after abducting a 12-year-old from her backyard, forcing her into his vehicle, and then sexually assaulting her. He has since been convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault. Now, after being convicted, his family members were sending letters to the judge to ask the judge to consider his character when making that sentencing. And one of those letters came from the Al Hassan Islamic Center. It was actually signed by their executive director, stating that he had to face cultural differences and the challenges of taking on...
Yeah, it's not looking too good, bro. Not looking too good. If he's found guilty, send him away, G.
Somalia, the judge actually gave him the lightest sentencing possible. He is only going to be serving 8 years in jail for this crime. He was sentenced to 12 years, but those last 4 years are going to be spent out of jail and on probation. By the way, going back to that point about the challenges of a different culture, this perpetrator has been in the United States of America since 2006. So he's been in the United States for 19 years. He was born in Somalia, but he's been here for almost 2 decades at this point. However, the culture coming into play when it comes to, as the Islamic Center put it, this situation of course, being sexually assaulting and abducting a 12-year-old girl.
Okay, this is one thing I don't like. They're trying to bring the religion, the mosque, into something that's like that. Do you get it? That's why I say it's a hit piece.
Difficulties within their state, with headlines surrounding Somali gangs, Somalis linked to statewide fraud cases, and the continued excuse of the challenges of a new culture becoming a more and more common occurrence throughout Minnesota. From the name Mohammed hitting the list of 100 most popular dating names in St. Paul, Minnesota, to the closure of a 119-year-old bar due to the changing culture and drinking habits, the growth of African and Muslim population has continued to make its way throughout Minnesota, and due to modern-day U.S. immigration policy, looks like it has no plans of slowing down.
But it was about then 2006, 2007 where I noticed that their presence was becoming very prominent. And then later we learned that they were, I can't give you exact figures on what they're getting in terms of handouts and doles, but I know I was pretty staggered when I heard, if it was either a single person or a couple, it was like $2,500 a month, and if it was a family with kids, they were getting automatically $4,500 a month in just handouts, you know. And so when they kind of take over an area like this, it's not really that surprising that people like to say, oh, it's their ingenuity and their work ethic and stuff. It's not, it's handouts, and anybody can flourish with that kind of cushioning.
You heard it here, lads. I only got 30 seconds of recording time left. We're definitely gonna continue the conversation into another video. But guys, was this a hit piece? It kind of was a hit piece. I think she played it very smart. The presenter or the lady, she played it very well. But it was a hit piece. And I think what I'll say on this matter is, you know, like I said, I think 99.9% of the Somalis in Minnesota, they're law-abiding citizens. Yeah, the culture might be different, blah, 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 but at the end of the day, they're not doing anything illegally. I got 3 seconds left, so yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace, I'm out of here.